Good morning, dear students. Let's start our English second class. Okay. Then let me ask you one thing. Did you write all the notes that I gave you in the last class? Yes. I think you have studied everything that I gave you. Haven't you? Okay. If it is so, that's very good. And you should be up to date. Okay. Today we are going to discuss the last part of our poem. Which is the poem? Yes, in the Bazaars of Hyderabad. Okay. Then you should know that this last part is very important and it has its own significance in the life of human beings. Okay. So here we should appreciate Sarojini Naidu for her skill of thinking in such a way. Okay, then let's go to read and discuss the last part. Take page 30 and read. What do you weave, O ye flower girls, with tassels of azure and red? Crowns for the brow of a bridegroom, chaplets to garland his bed, sheets of white blossoms new garnered to perfume the sleep of the dead. Okay, here, as we have seen already, the poetess starts this part also using a question. To whom? To the flower girls. Usually when we go to the market, we can see the girls or the women sitting in the corners selling flowers. Flowers for different purposes. It can be for temple worship or for decorating the churches and for decorating or adorning the hair of women, and there are many colors, and there are many scents of these flowers. We can feel and we can see and we can smell. Okay, so here the poetess moves towards the girls who sell the flowers, and she asks, what do you weave? For weaving, we know that we should have the threads. Here also, the girls weave using colored threads. And which are the two colors used here? One is azure. We can write here. This azure. One color is azure. What is the meaning of this word? What color is this one? The word and its meaning is given here. It's bright blue in color. Bright blue in color. So when we see bright blue, we should say it's azure. Okay. And there is one more color. What is that? It's red. Okay. Azure and red. Okay. Now, let's go to the next one. For what? They use these threads. They make using these threads tassels. Tassels means taking the threads, strands of thread together. Taking the strands of thread together and tying here. In the end. Okay, tying here, just only one end is tied. Okay, then these tassels are used like this will be the tassels. Then they will be used to stitch or decorate the edges of bed sheets, or we can see sarees, or the sheets or curtains. All these things are adorned using these tassels. Here also the girls you weave the flowers using these tassels. Okay, then what are the different purposes for which these girls weave these flowers using tassels? Okay, the first one is crowns for the brow of a bridegroom. Crowns for the brow of a bridegroom. Usually the North Indian weddings, we can see the bridegrooms, they wear these crowns. Then there will be the strands of flowers, the garlands of flowers. These are used, these crowns are used only for the wedding ceremonies, for the bridegroom to adorn themselves. Okay, then chaplets to garland his bed, and after that these chaplets means here chaplets, strings of flowers. These chaplets are used to adorn the wedding bed, their beds. After their wedding, they have the bedroom, and the bed is adorned and using these chaplets, these strings of flowers. Okay, the first one is for adorning the crown of the bridegroom, and the second one is using to adorn their bed as using the chaplets. And the next one, there is one more use, that is sheets of white blossoms new garnered. They make sheets of new blossoms, that is garnered as if it bloomed now. Okay, so they make these blossoms, these newly plucked flowers, white flowers, to perfume the sleep of the dead. For adorning the dead bodies, they weave these white flowers. Okay, so here we can see two things, two extremes of our life. The first one is relating to happiness, that is marriage function and the wedding ceremony. Everything related to marriage is something that gives us happiness. And the next one is, that is the another extreme of our life, that is sadness, death. Death is something very sadful. Am I right? Okay. Then here the poetess shows the two extremes of life, the paradox. Okay, the paradox of our life, that is happiness and sadness. She brings these two things together to make us think about the life and its nothingness. Okay, so life is one side, there like the coins, two sides of a coin. Life has its own happiness and its own sadness. We should accept all these things as human beings. We should balance our happiness and sadness. Okay, so here our poem is over. Now let's just review this last part of our poem. That is, the question is directly asked to the flower girls, and what are the answers given by these flower girls? Yes, they weave the flowers to adorn, to make crowns, to adorn the brow of the bridegroom, and also to make chaplets for their wedding night. And the next one is making the sheets of flowers to decorate the dead body. Okay, you see, today we have learned 4 new words. The first one is tassels. Tassels means a bunch of threads that are tied together at one end and hang from cushions, curtains, clothes, etc. as a decoration. Okay, so we know I have drawn here already that. Then the other one is azure. Azure means bright blue in color. The next word is chaplets. Chaplets means strings of flowers. And the fourth one is new garnered. That means newly obtained or collected. Okay. We go and collect when the flowers are bloomed. That is called newly garnered. Okay. You need to write all these new words in your notebook and write their meanings also. Not only that, you have to study too. Okay. Then let's go to the question answers here. C. Take from page 31. C. Crowns for the brow of a bridegroom, chaplets to garland his bed, sheets of white blossoms new garnered to perfume the sleep of the dead. Okay. Based on these 4 lines, there are 3 questions given. The first one, what floral ornaments are woven for the bridegroom? What are the floral ornaments woven for the bridegroom? The first one is crown for the brow of the bridegroom, and the next one is chaplets for his beds. Okay, chaplets, strings of flowers for the bed of the bridegroom. Then the second question, what is the significance of white blossoms? What is the significance of the white blossoms? These white blossoms are spread over the dead bodies during the funerals, isn't it? Okay, that is the significance. And the third one, the lines talk about 2 contrasting events in human life. What are these events? About 2 contrasting events. Which are they? The 2 contrasting events in human life are marriage and death. Marriage and death. And let's go to the third one. What are the vendors, maidens and peddlers doing in the bazaar? What are these persons doing? Vendors, maidens and peddlers. They sell their merchandise and wares. They sell the things. Okay, whatever they have. The vendors are selling saffron, lentil and rice. And the maidens are selling, they are not selling, their maidens are grinding. Okay, grinding sandalwood, henna and spice. The peddlers are selling chessmen and ivory dyes. Okay. Now the fourth one, name the fruits and musical instruments displayed in the bazaar. Which are they? The fruits displayed are citron, pomegranate and plum. And the musical instruments are sitar, sarangi and drum. They mention 2 things that fascinate the poet about the Bazaars of Hyderabad. Mention 2 things that fascinate the poet about the Bazaars of Hyderabad. What fascinates you when you go to a bazaar? The first one we can write. The second part you have to write. What fascinates you when you go to a bazaar? That depends upon you. Okay. The first one is mention 2 things that fascinate the poet in the Bazaars of Hyderabad. What are they? She is fascinated by the sounds, sights and smells of the markets. She finds everything interesting, very interesting, and she is in love with the surroundings. Okay, and what about you? That you have to write. Okay, so here these writings are over. You need to write all these notes in your notebook and study. And we will discuss the remaining part of this poem in the next class. Okay, then see you in the next class. Stay healthy and safe. Okay, bye.